This is not the year to procrastinate, so we're going to help you get started as early as possible. Here to help is a fine and helpful licensed CPA and tax strategist, Michel Valbrun. I'm so glad that we're going to do this together because I'm one of those people who gets tied in knots about this, and there's no point, right? That's your advice. Stay calm.
Be calm, relax. You're going to be okay. It's just really preparation is key. So
well, it is a different year, right, Michel? We have layoffs, we have furloughs, we have these stimulus checks, we have EDD, we have PPP loans. I mean, there's a lot of math, and I'm sure that people are feeling more stressed about taxes than they have in years before.
Yeah, absolutely. This year, as you can imagine, it's brought up a lot of challenges as it relates to tax season. I have actually 5 steps to tax season success, all right? So if you want to make sure you're successful this tax season, these are some of the things that you want to consider and making sure that you're aware of as you're getting into it. So the first one is, again, as we mentioned, making sure that you're familiar and aware with some of the new tax laws and tax changes. So as I mentioned, they push back when they're accepting the tax returns to February 12th for individuals. They have opened it up for S corporations, C corporations. So if you're a business owner, they will begin accepting those tax returns. So making sure that you have that in place. And then also, number 2, the important thing is making sure, as you mentioned, collecting those documents. So getting those, if you're working a 9 to 5, making sure that you're getting that W-2. If you're making income outside of your 9 to 5, those 1099s are going to be important for you. And what's going to be new, especially given the pandemic with all the furloughs and unemployments, you may start receiving that 1099-G, which is going to be that unemployment tax return. So being on the lookout for that as well.
1099-G.
And then the third thing, 1099-G is going to be your unemployment income. You want to make sure that you're reporting that as well. 1099 miscellaneous, if you're, again, that self-employed individual, the 1099 interest and dividends as well. And then if you have a business, making sure that you have your financials in order, right? So a lot of business owners, sometimes they try to come last minute, getting their financials in order. So if you're a Schedule C, a sole proprietorship, making sure that you have that income statement with the income, expenses, showing that profit. If you have a corporation or S corp, making sure you have that balance sheet in place as well. You can use a software like QuickBooks. So that is what you need to do as far as collecting that documentation.
And then next up, the third one, you remind us that there's lots of options, whether you want to do the taxes yourself or if you want to use somebody like yourself, a CPA, or any other big chain tax offices, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's several options as it relates to preparing your taxes. So yeah, if you are an individual, you have a simple tax return. There's amazing software out there like TurboTax, H&R Block, Credit Karma even has a tax software. And what's great about these softwares is they're pretty easy to use. They're question-based. So you go ahead and answer those questions and it'll prompt you through and going ahead and filling out those tax returns for you. And then again, if you have a more complex type of situation, maybe you're a business owner, consider working with a certified public accountant, and a enrolled agent will be able to help you guide you. And you always have the options of working with some of the bigger franchises like the H&R Blocks, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax, even the local tax preparation offices around you. So those are, again, you have a ton of options as it relates to getting your taxes done.
Yeah, and one of the best things to do is file electronically. That'll just make things a lot easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The IRS is they just released a newsletter and they're highly encouraging folks to go ahead and filing electronically. One, because of the pushback when they're accepting tax returns, so you can expect some delays with your refund. So if you are expecting a refund, please be patient. But going ahead and filing electronically, putting that direct deposit information in there is going to help expedite that process and make it more efficient for you as it relates to being able to take advantage of that.
And it's always good to revisit tax planning, learn about the tax code, and get yourself aware of any activities you can reduce taxable income. Michel, thank you so much for this. I think it's such a stressful thing for people, and you add all these other additional elements this year. Thanks for walking us through this. This has been very, very helpful.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
And of course, you can get more tax-saving tips by checking out Michel's Instagram page at Michel Valbrun. That's spelled V-A-L-B-R-U-N.